Welcome to the NCAA Softball Regionals presented by Capital One. Today, the defending national champions begin their title defense as the Texas Longhorns get ready for a matchup against the Wagner Seahawks, who are making their very first postseason appearance in program history. Now, just about 30 minutes ago in the first game, Wisconsin walked it off against Baylor. Hannah Conger, the sophomore, third walk-off hit of the season. So the Badgers have moved into the winner's bracket. So the winner of Texas and Wagner will take on Wisconsin in game number 1 on Saturday. Alongside Kat Osterman, I'm Alex Loeb. And Kat, when you talk about Texas, look at Katie Stewart and her offensive explosion this year. She's already been named the SEC Player of the Year, and also just a few days ago named a top 10 finalist for National Player of the Year.
Well, Katie Stewart spent her first 2 years on the 40 acres protecting Reese Atwood, and as this year unfolded, they had to figure out how are we going to protect Katie Stewart. They've moved her up to the 2-hole. She set the single-season home run record. Reese Atwood set that a year ago, and Katie Stewart has already broken it and continues to build on it. But the junior has been absolutely electric, power and consistency both from that 2-hole.
And that emphatic bat slam as well after one of those 25 home runs she's hit this season. Again, a new single-season Texas record. As for Wagner, they've already made history here, making the NCAA postseason, and they are relying heavily on a Texas native, Janice Morales, who came up huge in the conference tournament, Kat.
Well, Janice Morales had game-winning RBI. She's been clutch. She's leading off for the Wagner Seahawks. But what a homecoming for the senior. Has not played in the state of Texas since high school. Has a family contingent, 30-plus, you see there, that have come to welcome her back to the great state of Texas.
How important is game number 1 for these teams? 97% of teams with a win in game 1 go on to advance, while 76% of the host teams move on to the Supers as well. Longhorns and Seahawks coming up from McCombs Field in Austin. Time to take a look at Wagner's starting lineup, brought to you by Capital One, the MVP of the NEC Conference Tournament. Sydney Trujillo batting .400 in the cleanup spot, leading the team with a .400 average. Listen, the team has only hit 7 home runs this year, but she has launched 3 of those. That Seahawks offense will be going up against the senior for Texas, Citlali Gutierrez, getting the start in the Longhorns' first postseason contest.
Citlali Gutierrez, plenty of experience and postseason experience at that, giving her the start here. We have seen her primarily in relief. We're going to give Texas going to give her the ball here in the opener. She's going to do a great job of being able to attack the zone and mix speeds.
Texas, the number 2 national seed entering the postseason. As for Wagner, they won the Northeast Conference tournament They trailed in all 3 of those conference tournament games before rallying to win. They make the NCAA postseason for the first time in program history, coming all the way over from Staten Island, New York, led by Glenn Moore, the other Glenn Moore. There are 2 Glenn Moores in this Austin Regional, Baylor's head coach, and Wagner's Glenn Moore in his 3rd year in charge. 59-78, and again, making history, winning the NEC tournament to put themselves here in the Austin Regional against the defending national champions. Leading things off for Wagner will be the Texas native we talked about right before the break, Janice Morales, out of San Antonio, playing a game back in her home state. The senior, the last time she played here was in high school, and we are underway between Texas and Wagner. Gutierrez missing with the first pitch. Citlali Gutierrez was second on the Longhorns in wins, ERA, and strikeouts. He's looked terrific at times this year. And the scouting report, Kat.
Well, Gutierrez is going to throw mid to upper 60s. A lot of heavy drop balls, will mix an off-speed curve and a straight change in. The key for her is to establish the bottom part of the zone and then be able to mix speeds. And right now, unable to figure out where the bottom part of that zone is and that outside corner from home plate, Jenna Bouillon.
Gutierrez looked terrific at times this year. 3 shutout appearances against Georgia, but at other times has struggled. It starts off the game with a 4-pitch walk. Gutierrez allowed 5 runs to Oklahoma State, 3 runs to Texas A&M, and 2 1/3. That allows the leadoff runner Morales for at first. So here comes Elena Giampolo for Wagner. All-conference first-teamer.
It'll be interesting to see what Glenn Moore for Wagner does here. You mentioned Morales with the walk, her 32nd of the year. She has a great eye, but she does have 16 stolen bases. Is he going to try to push the envelope against Reese Atwood?
Well, for a team like Wagner going up against the champs, David versus Goliath, do you have to take chances in a game like this?
You have to take chances. I don't know if you take them this early in the game. Allow your offense to see Gutierrez, see if they're going to put balls in play, what can happen. But you're also talking about the reigning Johnny Bench Award winner and the best catcher in the country, and Reese Atwood has already displayed her arm plenty this season. So if you're going to steal or try to take an extra base, it can't be in obvious situations.
Gutierrez, meanwhile, ahead 0-2 to the second batter, Giampolo, and gets her with a strikeout.
Well, Gutierrez just exploiting the outside half, a curveball there, a nice pitch, and you see Giampolo not anywhere close to that. A nice rebound from Gutierrez.
There is Leah Rochelle, senior out of Palmdale, California. We mentioned Wagner's based out of Staten Island, a private school of less than 2,000 students. But even though it's in New York, they have 15 kids from California on their roster. Oh, 2.
Well, Coach Moore told us he has connections out there and he uses them. Sometimes he recruits some of these athletes sight unseen. He just watches film. He gets it sent from people he trusts and knows out there in California.
Let's get a piece of that one, Rochelle. For Texas, they are making their 26th postseason appearance. It's now 21 straight. Of course, Mike White has that incredible stretch of advancing to at least a super regional in every postseason of his career and winning it all last year. First in his tenure, first in Texas history. Gutierrez missing.
Gutierrez trying to establish both sides of the plate, working outside to get ahead, trying to use the drop in there, not quite high enough to bait a swing. Leadoff walk she issued, the first walk she's had in the last 25.1 innings pitched.
Chopped over to third, on to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. Two away, and here comes the NEC Tournament MVP, Sydney Trujillo. Junior out of California, 4 extra base hits in their conference tournament. Again, just 7 home runs as a team all year for the Seahawks, but Trujillo has hit 3 of those.
Well, 3 of those home runs are hers. She also has 11 doubles, so the power is there, and the way the gaps here at McCombs are, a little deeper, does that have the potential to drive one deep into this ballpark.
0-2. Texas enters the regional 42-10 on the year. Wagner 22-26. Runner is going, the throw from Atwood wide. And Wagner with a runner in scoring position.
Well, this pitch low in the zone, and Reese Atwood gets caught a little bit off guard. That ball takes Vivi Martinez away from the bag. Ooh, Vivi Martinez tries to reach back, but Rachel's safely in.
That's just the 4th stolen base Atwood has allowed all year.
Well, Atwood pretty steady back there behind the plate. Does have a strong arm, and as you saw, that throw won the bounce, and then the bounce took Vivi Martinez away. Really think that steal just really caught Atwood off guard.
Trujillo stays alive. Texas is 19-3 in regional games under Mike White. 19 regional wins, most in the nation since 2019. 1-2 from Gutierrez. Molly Gutierrez 29-6 over her last 3 years. Ready with the 2-2, runner on second, 2 away. And bounces in the dirt and hits her. 2 aboard for Wagner here in the top of the 1st inning.
Well, you can tell right now, while Gutierrez is comfortable in the outer half, trying to establish the inner half, and has not been able to figure out which pitch is going to be able to be a strike on that inside corner.
The Seahawks threatening. Here's the senior Peyton Janicki fouling one off, second on the team in RBIs with 27. And wouldn't this be something in their first NCAA postseason game in program history if they could come up with their first run in history and take a lead on the defending national champions. Oh, 2.
And talking to the players from Wagner, they're excited that they won their conference tournament, excited to be here. We talked about Morales and her homecoming, excited for that to happen for their senior. They said, we're here to compete though. While we are happy to make it to regionals, we are here to compete. We want to be able to prove that we belong.
Janicki sends one into the gap, and Wagner scores their first run in an NCAA postseason game in program history. How about that start?
Well, so Lali Gutierrez just throws this ball over the heart of the plate, and Janicki drives that left center. Wagner has been attacking good pitches. Even the strikeout for Giampolo, they were strikes. They're forcing Gutierrez to throw in the zone, and Janicki gets all of that one.
What a historic moment for the Wagner Seahawks. Here's Leilani Gonzalez with 2 in scoring position, and Gutierrez misses with the first pitch. What are you seeing out of the senior right now in the circle?
She's actually worked ahead of a couple of these hitters, but has not been able to put them away. And while they're trying to work both sides of the plate, has to be able to efficiently or effectively attack with a strike 3 and allow a miss hit, allow a swing and miss, but just trying to do too much. The drop ball in the inner half is being forced down. It never looks like a strike, and the double, that off-speed pitch was just left over the plate. And when you throw as many off-speed pitches as she does, if an offense decides they're going to sit that pitch, you really have to be able to pinpoint it as far as location goes.
Wagner led off the game with the walk. Fourth batter of the game was hit. And the fifth delivered their first run in NCAA tournament history. And a 2-0 count to Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a .317 hitter on the year, all conference. Take strike 1. 6 multi-hit games on the season, a .317 batter. And the count evened up. Runners on second and third, 2 away here in the top of the first. Gonzalez just getting a piece of that.
I like the patient aggressiveness from Wagner. They're not chasing out of the zone, but when it's in, they're taking their hacks, getting their timing against Gutierrez.
2-2 got her. Gutierrez with an inning-ending strikeout, but Wagner is pumped. They have made history. The Seahawks taking a 1-0 lead over the defending national champions. Let's take a look at the Texas Longhorns starting lineup, brought to you by Capital One. And Cat, it all starts at the top with the All-SEC center fielder, Caden Henry.
Yeah, Caden Henry, first team All-SEC. She leads off with a little bit of everything. She has some power, obviously the consistency, hitting over 400. She'll use short game and her speed, a state qualifier in track in high school, so she's able to get down the bases rather quickly, and you see the 26 stolen bases lead Texas. But the top of the lineup is really going to be the spark for Texas. Needs to be able to figure out how to get to Sam Lotus here in the first inning.
Yeah, a freshman getting the start. Sam Lotus, a member of the NEC All-Rookie team, had the lowest ERA in the Northeast Conference. Making the biggest start of her career, going up against an offense in Texas that is averaging nearly 7.5 runs per game. 17th highest scoring team in the country. Well, if history is any indication, Cap, this is exactly what Texas wanted. Last year in their first game of the regional, Texas fell behind 1-0 in the first inning to Eastern Illinois with Citlali Gutierrez in the circle. They went on to score 4 in the bottom half and win it 10-2, and the rest is history.
Well, if there's one thing Texas knows how to do, they're tested enough to know how to respond. We've seen that late in season and get with them. Alabama took the lead in the SEC championship game. They were able to come back. SEC tournament, Georgia was able to push them to the brink. They were able to walk that off. So Texas knows how to respond. Right now, they need to try to make the response early in this game as opposed to letting Wagner hang around.
And this is Texas winning the SEC tournament. Tegan Kavan was brilliant. Sure, we'll see her tomorrow. Longhorns offense, stellar as usual under Mike White. They've hit 81 home runs this year. 4th most in program history. That one chopped to right field, and a leadoff single for Caden Henry. Henry can motor. Led the SEC this year with 26 stolen bases, and we'll see what she does over at first. And one of the best hitters in the country at the plate, Katie Stewart. What a season she is having. 25 home runs on the year. Big swing and a miss, looking for number 26. Batting .434, top 5 in the SEC. And the second best on base percentage in the conference. Over to first. 1 away.
Well, the big swings from Katie Stewart, and Samantha Lotus doesn't throw hard. So for Texas, they're going to have to get on time because she already throws high 50s, low 60s, but also going to use an off-speed pitch. And that off-speed pitch goes even slower, so they're going to have to figure out her speed changes.
I think they're going to say that was a foul ball.
Yeah, Smokey Eads comes down and meets with Jenna Bouillon, saying he saw that roll behind the foul line.
Well, just when Sam Lotus was going to exhale in the circle, not quite yet, and the umpires will talk things over. Jenna Bouillon, Matt Johnson, Aaron Golden, and Smokey Edge in blue for this game number 2 here from the Austin Regional. Wisconsin took the opener in extras over Baylor, so they await the winner of this contest. They will meet them in game number 1 on Saturday. Glenn Moore, as we said, in his 3rd year in charge of Wagner. What a story he has been. He started off his coaching career as a high school football coach. He eventually said, listen, can you give me a shot coaching the high school baseball team? His high school said, well, we don't have any availabilities there, but the softball team has an opening at head coach. And he said, sure, well, why not? I'll give it a try. You never know. Next thing you know, he falls in love with the sport, makes his way to the college ranks, and leads Wagner here to the postseason for the first time in his 3rd year.
I just love talking to him. You hear him express his passion for all of his players, but at the same time, you can tell he's just a grinder. He talked to us about recruiting and using video, saying, I go back to my football days, but he just grinds it out in order to continue to build this program, as you mentioned, early here in his career at Wagner.
Still discussing the last play.
So if that ball rolls back behind the plate, so the chalk line comes to that front corner, as soon as it rolls behind the plate, it's foul. That might have even hit her foot in the box. A little misdirection.
Jenna Bouillon is currently now in a discussion with Mike White. A lot of conversations early here in this one.
Well, no, that angle, you can tell it doesn't hit her foot. The question is, does it roll back behind the plate?
Meanwhile, over at first base, Caden Henry's just sitting down over there at the bag, just chilling right now.
Well, that's been pretty much her MO this season, just going ahead and giving her legs a little bit of a break while they review.
Hey, why not? Just chilling.
Having conversation with associate head coach Kristen Zaleski. Zaleski won her second national championship last year with Texas. First was with Oklahoma the year before, as she was a volunteer coach there under Patty Gasso.
For Henry, she's climbing up the Texas record books, stolen bases, one behind Taylor Hoagland for second most all time. She currently has 87, stretching those legs out a little bit. They are now having a closer look at this one as Katie Stewart continues to wait in the wings.
Well, and I understand if you're Glenn Moore and you got Katie Stewart out that easily, you're going to want that to stand.
Yeah.
The play on the field was ruled a foul ball after the play was over. Once the ruling on the field is a foul ball, no challenge can be made up on that play anymore. So there is no challenge charged to Wagner at this point in time.
Okay, so the count will be 0-2 for Stewart, who has another opportunity.
So to clarify there, Jenna Bouillon said fair, which allowed them to play it out. But Smokey Aids at third base came in and ruled it foul. When Smokey overrules Jenna, that's the play that is called on the field. So therefore, that cannot be reviewed.
Throw on to second. That one gets away. Stewart did strike out. So still a big out for the Seahawks. Texas now with a runner in scoring position.
Well, Lotus going up and out. Katie Stewart does check swing. And a great throw from behind the plate for Buchanan. Caden Henry able to get there as that throw was bobbled.
And now Mike White having another chat with the umpires.
The call on the field is that the runner at first base left early on the pitch. This call is being challenged by Texas.
An eventful first inning here already. With how late Caden Henry was actually getting back to the bat, or getting to second base, I have a hard time believing she got an early jump.
Texas fans saying, come on, we just want to see home runs.
One heck of a first inning already. Oh yeah, no, Caden Henry actually almost dead on time there. Her foot's not off that bag when Lotus releases the ball.
So is this more nerve-wracking for the pitcher or the hitters, these delays early on?
If I was a pitcher and I felt like I was in a groove, these delays would really frustrate me, because when you're in a groove, it's like, let's keep going. And granted, yes, you want the outs where they're supposed to be called, but it really gets you pausing a lot.
After review, the call on the field is changed. The runner left on time. Texas still has 2 challenges left in the ballgame.
So the original call was Henry left early. Mike White challenged that. He won the challenge. The call overturned. Texas still has 2 challenges. Henry in scoring position. Okay, so here we go. Here's Vivi Martinez.
Oh, and to your point, Alex, on the question you asked, Sam Lotus just struck out Katie Stewart. And you want to use that momentum, but then you have the long delay. And so for Sam Lotus, it's getting that inner fire back going, and the fact that with that pause, it kind of took some wind out of the sails.
Here's Vivi Martinez to center field. Moving all around is Naraki, and it goes off of her glove. Caden Henry comes home, and we are tied at 1. What a wild bottom half of the first inning.
Now this is great base running by Caden Henry. Vivi Martinez hits a changeup deep center field, and while she knows she could tag in advance, she sees that Naraki is kind of lost, and she stays off the base, able to score easily. Great base running off a deep drive by Vivi Martinez.
An RBI double for Martinez. There's not a ton of wind out there right now. Flags not moving around much, but Naraki had trouble with that.
Well, and sometimes when a left-handed hitter, even if they drive at center field, there's a tail that goes towards left field, and I think that's what happened is Naraki dropped straight back, but Vivi Martinez had a little bit of a tail that made her spin around and eventually reach safely.
There's a strike to Leanne Good, the senior second baseman who Mike White called the MVP of their postseason run a year ago. She has carried over that momentum from last postseason, hitting a career best 382 this year, 11 home runs.
If you watch Leanne Good play, she's been playing more freely. You see her at bats, more quality, taking some good swings at good pitches, not trying to do too much.
Strange start to this game again. Sam Lotus in the circle struck out one of the best hitters in the country in Katie Stewart. And then when she thought she was going to get a routine flyout, that brings in the run. Swing and a miss. She has struck out 2 of the first 4 Texas batters she's faced.
Oh, Sam Lotus using that changeup quite a bit and then changes the eyes, goes up in the zone, a nice location up and in against Leanne Good. And the senior unable to lay off that one. A big second out for Sam Lotus and Wagner.
Here's Reese Atwood, the 2-time first-team All-American. Another big cut from a Texas hitter and a miss. Atwood, whose storied career in burnt orange is winding down, has hit a program record 71 home runs and collected 277 RBIs in her career.
Mike White points out quite often they brought Reese Atwood in for her defense. The fact she is so good behind the plate, we've seen the arm, she can pick off runners. They never expected the offensive explosion that she's had here on the 40 acres.
Atwood right into the glove of Janicki over at short. So an exciting first inning here from Austin. Wagner strikes first and Texas responds.
Both sides know about national championship hardware tonight. They want that one. back-to-back strikeouts with the bases loaded. Stewart elevates over the scoreboard and out of here. A masterpiece from Tegan Cavan and a first SEC championship on the 40 acres.
Texas winning the SEC tournament. And Mike White and his squad taking down Ole Miss 6-0, Georgia 5-4, and then dominating Alabama 7-1. Tegan Cavan in the circle. The SEC tournament MVP last year. Texas became the first SEC team to win a national championship since Florida did it back in 2015. Oklahoma, of course, was not in the SEC when they went on their run. Back in the Big 12, Tegan Cavan. Again, I'm sure we will see her tomorrow. Last year, Citlali Gutierrez also got the start in their regional opener when they fell behind in the first inning 1-0 and ended up beating Eastern Illinois 10-2. Here she's out for inning number 2 in this one.
Gutierrez getting the start here, and Texas has a plethora of arms that they can work if they want to keep Tegan Cavan rested for tomorrow. Hannah Wells already at full pitch over there on the left side of the screen, and sophomore Cam Salmon starting to get herself warm as well on the right.
Gutierrez now ahead of the freshman Addie Day out of Mission Viejo, California. Mike White talking about the key with Citlali Gutierrez. Don't nibble around the strike zone and miss. Just fire those strikes in there. Don't overthink it. Swing and a miss. She does that there. Strikeout number 3 for Citlali.
Well, she throws a heavy down ball, so you want to force hitters to have to stay down through it. And this, a drop ball, stays over the plate, but she's able to get away with that with a little bit of down movement and her speed.
Wagner averages about 4 runs per game. First pitch in there for Britton Buchanan. Tremendous defensive catcher out of Ogden, Utah. And she has an absolute cannon behind the dish.
If you're Texas, you're putting Citlali Gutierrez out there to get her going here in the postseason, but you want to see better consistency from a senior. As you said, Mike White wants her to pound the zone, then use that off speed for a chase. But right now, not able to consistently locate that drop ball for a called strike or even really getting the swing.
What does that do to? Is it overthinking? Is it nerves? You wouldn't think so. What do you attribute that to?
I would say more nerves, and again, she's better coming out of the pen. So when she has time to think about a start, maybe it's overthinking and trying to be too perfect, where you come out of the pen, you don't really have time to think about it. You know, you just have to have the other pitchers back and go work. But at the same time, by this point in your season or in your career as a senior, should be able to be used in either situation.
Second walk of the game. She has allowed 4 of the first 8 batters for Wagner to reach. Here comes Ava Noraki, center fielder. And they did not charge Noraki with an error on that play that brought in a run in center field. She's twisting around there, drops down the bunt as it turns foul.
Noraki just dropped the wrong way. That's not an error, unfortunately, even though it did tip her glove. If it had been in her glove and then popped out, different story, but because she had to switch directions and the angle of it, I believe the double is warranted.
Only Wagner freshman to play more than 40 games this year. Gutierrez misses again.
And right now with Wagner 1 out, if they're trying to sack bunt, go ahead and let them get out number 2.
And that will drop in there safely, and everybody is safe.
Well, Naraki bunts this one, and it hangs up there. So Katie Stewart's charging hard, thinking she's going to try to catch in the air when she doesn't. JC Nichols looks like she's going to come across, and she gave up on it as well. And so there is no one to make a play on that bunt. And that's where, as Texas, you don't need a double play there. Just play the sack bunt and get the second out. It's early in the game.
You ever seen that before, or recently? Back up to the top of the order we go. 2 on, just 1 away for the Seahawks, who struck in the first inning and looking for more here in the second, again in their first postseason appearance in program history. Here's the San Antonio native, Janice Morales, came up with the game-winning hit in the conference championship game and the game-winning hit in the semifinal contest as well. She walked up to start today, and there is her family rolling 30 deep in the stands, making a lot of noise for Morales.
You could tell just how excited she was when their name got called for the Austin Regional. We asked her what it was going to be like, and face just absolutely lit up. The biggest smile to be able to come back home and play in her senior season.
There's a strike from Gutierrez. Wagner sent in a pinch runner at second. Savannah Zornemore, the sophomore. And the Rocky is over at first. Shot foul. A single, a double, couple of walks and a hit batter. First time through the order for Wagner against Gutierrez. Got her. Strikeout number 4.
Ahead in the count, Gutierrez goes ahead and attacks the zone. This a nice backdoor curveball, knee height. Clips the corner there, and that is strike 3 against Morales.
2 away, 2 on for Elena Giampolo, all conference first teamer. 2 hits in the deciding game of the conference tournament. And Wagner coming out of the Northeast Conference, the NEC. Giampolo ropes one, foul. Close call.
Coach Clemorn can't believe it down there, but off the bat, it looked like it was going down the line. You see from here, though, it's clearly past third base.
Runners back to first and second. Giampolo making the grab is Nichols. So Wagner threatens again, but it remains a 1-run game. On to the bottom of the second we go in Austin. Well, Wagner arrived in Austin to much fanfare. Texas native Janice Morales showed up at the Austin airport with her friends and family waiting for her arrival. And again, most of them here at today's game for her first game since she was in high school in the state of Texas. Wagner's first NCAA postseason game. When you talk about teams making their first appearance ever in an NCAA regional, Wagner 1 of 5 this year.
Yeah, you see there Akron, Cal Baptist, Idaho State, South Dakota, and then Wagner. First timers here at the big dance. Wagner already competing well here against reigning national champions, and you have to believe that the Morales contingent there is passing off some good juju to the Seahawks.
Definitely providing a lot of noise. Here is Hannah Wells leading off for the Longhorns, the second best hitting freshman in the country with the last name of Wells, but not too far off. 3 home runs in her last 5 games. Hitting .294 with 13 homers on the year.
32 hits, 19 of those are extra bases. You mentioned the 13 home runs, 6 doubles, and to go back to the home runs though, a lot of them have been clutch home runs. She doesn't just hit them sporadically. She has come up in some big moments for Texas with the long ball.
So impatience here. 3-0. First 3 hits of her college career. Left the yard. 4 of her last 6 have done the same. There's a strike from Lotus. So Sam Lotus struck out Katie Stewart and Leanne Good, but allowed a single to Caden Henry and an RBI double to Vivi Martinez. Nice to center, charging in Naraki. This time hangs on.
Key for Texas is going to be timing up that changeup right there. Lotus offers another changeup to Hannah Wells. And Hannah Wells just under it. Texas is going to have to figure out how to get through that pitch and be a little bit more on time. If they take that out of Lotus's hand, it'll be a different ball game.
1 away for Alyssa Sneed. Dynamic freshman. Forced defensively in left field this year, made some highlight reel grabs in the SEC tournament. As White said, she really reminds him of Shannon Rhodes, who's also a terrific hitter for him here at Texas and over at Oregon as well.
This freshman class, highly touted coming in with Hannah Wells, JC Nichols, Alyssa Sneed, Matea Lawson, who's out due to injury now. Probably early on, the least opportunities out of all of them. But has slowly been able to get opportunities and continue to make herself a viable option for Texas, especially in left field.
Number 6 outfield prospect in the nation. Texas native. It strikes out. 3rd strikeout of the game for Lotus. Among the first 7 Texas batters she's faced.
Well, all 3 strikeouts have been on this rise ball, so Texas is going to have to identify the ball down in the zone, what they want to drive, or be able to adjust and stay on top of this pitch. But Lotus has been able to get the big outs with the rise.
Samantha Lotus, freshman out of Fontana, California. Lowest ERA in the Northeast Conference. 10-11 on the year. Had 81 strikeouts coming into today. Has 84. Missing with the first offering to JC Nichols. Mike White called Nichols one of the most overlooked players on the team. Tegan Kavan concurred.
A lot of that comes because JC Nichols isn't flashy. She's not putting up a lot of home runs. You're not seeing doubles and triples. But when you talk about the defense, she has really been able to fill the shoes of Mia Scott over there at 3rd base. And for Texas and their fans, That was the big question mark. Mia Scott was absolutely unbelievable, in the especially postseason last year at third. Who was going to be able to come in and be able to be the same type of defensive player, and JC Nichols has done that.
Great defensively, 13 straight games without an error at the hot corner. Works the count 3-1 with two-way here in the bottom of the second inning. Each team with a run, each team with 2 hits. Nichols poked over to third. Trujillo is there and threw it away. Nichols has to hurry back to the bag. So already we've seen a couple defensive issues for Wagner show up.
Well, here JC Nichols just right at Trujillo, but with the speed, she rushes the throw. I will say, heads up base running here. You see Nichols thinks she's going to take off to first. She comes back to the white bag. You cannot come back to the orange bag or they can tag you out. But JC Nichols earns her way on.
Well, this is the last team you want to give extra opportunities to. 17th highest scoring team in the nation, the Longhorns, as Ashton Maloney takes strike one. She set a new Longhorn single season record last year with 93 hits. Hasn't quite put up the same numbers this year, but still batting .297. Drops down the bunt. Lotus makes the play. Oh, safe. Maloney, underrated speed.
The play on the field is ruled safe at first base. That call is being challenged by Wagner.
First challenge by Wagner.
Ashton Maloney puts down a nice bunt. Sam Lotus fields it well. That's a bang-bang play, and I thought from the naked eye, Ashton Maloney actually got her foot in there before the ball, but Wagner going to ask for this to get reviewed. I don't know that that's enough to overturn it.
Well, Mike White said last year Ashton Maloney was one of the most underrated players in the nation, and people don't account for her deceiving speed. It looked like she was able to beat that out. Another look. Have to see conclusive evidence to overturn it.
Well, I think her speed is deceiving because you never see choppy steps like a track runner. She just has so much strength in her legs that she takes off, and that speed is there. Off the bat, that looked like it was going to be an obvious out, but Ashton Maloney and the speed makes it questionable.
After review, the call on the field is changed. The runner is out.
Wow, how about that? Wagner wins the challenge. The call is overturned, and Glenn Moore still has both challenges. What a start to this contest through 2. Back in Austin as we hit the third inning, and there is a new pitcher taken over for the Longhorns, the freshman Hannah Wells, making her 19th appearance of the season. Had not showed up in the circle this month, but replaces Citlali Gutierrez, who lasted 2 innings, allowing 1 run, 2 walks. Gutierrez threw 49 pitches and replaced by Wells. Kat?
Wells going to be very similar. The freshman, heavy drop, uses an off-speed curve, can go up in the zone. We haven't seen it as much from her this season, but has the ability to go both sides, but is better with her hard drop arm side, so inside to these Wagner right-handed hitters than away.
5-3 in the circle in her first season with the Longhorns. Delivers a strike to Leah Rochelle. Last year, Hannah Wells, the National High School Gatorade Player of the Year, went 22-1 in the circle. Struck out 258 batters in just over 127 innings. From out of Coahoma, Texas. We've seen what her bat has done, especially lately, but again, making her first appearance in the circle this month. Over to second, good is there.
Well, and Hannah Wells is going to be able to be a strong two-way player for Texas, and Texas really hasn't had a strong two-way player who was in the lineup almost daily, probably dating back to Kim Bruins. Kim Bruins was able to split time in the circle with Blair Luna, pick up some big wins, but was always in the lineup. So Hannah Wells next in line to be able to affect the ball game on both sides.
0-1 to Sydney Trujillo, and that one misses. Hannah Wells, the only Texas pitcher with a home run in a game she started in the circle over the past 5 seasons. She falls behind 2-1.
I'll stand corrected. About 5 years ago is when Miranda Ellis transferred over here. She got to swing the bat more here at Texas than she did at Oregon. So she was able to be a piece.
Swing and a miss. Ellis also threw about 400 pitches in that one regional.
Well, when you talk about how many have won game 1 to win at Texas, one of the 2 actually of those 11 that haven't won game 1 and still come back to win their regional.
There's strikeout number 1 for Hannah Wells.
Well, Hannah Wells has come in and just attacked the zone. She uses this off-speed rise ball away. You see that tailing up and away from Trujillo.
2 outs for Peyton Janicki, who drove in the first run of the day, an RBI double in the first inning off Citlali Gutierrez.
Oh, really, Alex? Texas still looking for who's going to be that viable number 2 behind Tegan Cavan here in the postseason. As you mentioned, Wells hasn't been really used in the last month, so a chance here for her to get her feet wet in postseason experience, but also possibly work her way in to get starts when they need to give Tegan a rest or she's throwing too much.
Back-to-back Ks to end the inning for the freshman.
Hannah Wells comes in, just absolutely attacks the strike zone. 3 up, 3 down, but it's this off-speed pitch that's tailing away from the right-handed hitters that is going to be her bread and butter.
On to the bottom of the third inning we go in Austin, now joined by Wagner head coach Glenn Moore. Coach, thanks for joining us. What has this whole experience been like? You taking your team into the postseason for the first time in program history and then coming up with the first run in team history back in the first.
It's been amazing. You know, from our time we stepped off the plane, you know, our girls are jacked up for it. They're excited, so the energy's flowing, and, you know, we've been getting good results so far.
Coach, you went with your freshman, Sam Lotus, in the circle. Talk about the matchup with Texas and what gave you that nod as opposed to Zavala.
Actually, we were going to go Carson, and then Carson actually got a little bit under the weather this morning. So spoke to Lotus. She seemed jacked up for the opportunity, and we gave her the ball, and she's been doing great.
Great concentration there, Coach. Great focus. Thanks so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Good luck the rest of the weekend. In case you couldn't tell, Coach Moore, hailing from New York with that accent, he said, yeah, I know there's another Glenn Moore taking part in this regional, but I think we talk a little bit differently. Glenn Moore from Baylor, hailing from Mississippi. This Glenn Moore from Brooklyn, New York. And his team representing themselves out of Staten Island, New York. Pretty well so far, Cap.
Well, they are, and to the point of giving the nod. He gave the nod to a freshman in their first regional game, and granted, you hear him mention he wanted to start his senior. She came down under the weather this morning, and the freshman jacked up, ready to go. But still, such a huge moment, and Sam Lotus has really risen to the occasion. Even the one run given up, you and I talked, that ball could have been possibly caught in center field and be a different ball game right now.
Wagner fired up. Morales made the play to retire Caden Henry. They got the hats out. You got the freshman in the circle who struck out 3 Longhorns first time through the order. I mean, I can't imagine the nerves facing the defending national champions. We mentioned this history-making appearance by Wagner, but playing Texas in their ballpark. Lotus facing Katie Stewart, who she struck out in the first.
Well, it's just being in this environment, the bigger stadium, all the fans typically being for the Longhorns, and don't get me wrong, Wagner has traveled pretty well. That fan section down there is well filled.
Katie Stewart, that one in and out of the glove of Naraki, who's had some troubles in center, and Stewart arrives at second.
Well, Katie Stewart sits on this one, able to stay through that despite it going up to the upper part of the zone. It's a line shot to center, and I don't think Naraki had to jump for this. I think jumping for it is what makes it spin out of her glove. If she continues to catch that on the run, I think that's a hit. But that is an extremely hard hit ball off the bat of Katie Stewart.
They do score that a double. Here's Vivi Martinez. Center first inning. Martinez has been waiting 2 years for a shot at the postseason. After missing last year with the knee injury, she has come back with a vengeance this season, posting the best batting average and fielding percentage of her career.
She's so vital to Texas's success that when she went down last year, there was a big question mark on how was Texas going to proceed without their shortstop. And while they moved a couple different people around throughout the season, finally towards the end of the season, Leanne Good solidified herself there. But offensively, they were able to pick up what was left from Vivi being out. And so really, I think they've benefited not only with her bat being back in the lineup, but I think her calm demeanor on the field really has started to be an influence again for Texas on the defensive side.
It's worked the count 3-1. Martinez comes through again to center field and drives home another Texas run. The Longhorns grab the lead here in the third.
Well, here you can tell Vivi Martinez expecting an off-speed pitch. She stays back on that. A simple ground ball up the middle, not trying to overswing. Naraki playing deep enough. Coach White sends Katie Stewart home all the way. And Vivi Martinez taking the extra 60 on the throw.
Martinez, welcome back to the postseason, 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Here's Leanne Good. And this is from Lotus.
It's a pretty good offering in the inner half for Lotus, and I think Leanne Good knows she might have been the beneficiary of a missed call right there, because the pitch was pretty height-wise and corner.
Leanne Good, who has a lucky visor she wears, refuses to wash it. She did forget it during the SEC tournament. Still ended up hitting 2 bombs. A little bit of superstition there from the senior second baseman.
If you're really interested in all of them, either TikTok or Instagram, one of them has a video, and I think she only probably hit about a third to half of everything she really does as she continues to stay on a roll.
Popped it up. Lotus calling for it. And Trujillo still ran in there, but finally at the last moment gave way to the freshman pitcher.
Well, I think the freshman pitcher's height was going to let her catch that over Trujillo. But that's where the communication in a ballpark that can get noisy sometimes is so crucial. But a big second out right there after back-to-back hits by Lotus to start to quiet the nerves for Wagner a little bit.
Here is Reese Atwood, 10th on the NCAA's all-time RBI list with 277. 11 ribbies shy. Pulling into a tie for 9th. What a career she has had on the 40 acres. Behind 0-2.
Got a break for Sam Lotus there as that rise ball just finds the bat.
Got Atwood to line out to end the first inning. Texas's career leader in RBIs. Drafted by the Carolina Blaze, 7th overall pick, AUSL draft. Hoping she still has a number of games still to go in her college career this postseason. Count evened up.
Oh, great job by Reese Atwood. Sam Lotus has been trying to get them to chase up in the zone. She tries to use the lower half there, expand down, but Atwood laying off of it.
Atwood belts one to deep center field, and that one is hauled in by Naraki. She finally comes through with the grab to keep it a 2-1 game as the 3rd inning comes to an end. Got a good one going on here at Austin in game number 2 of the regional.
Not yet.
Taking a look at the 16 host sites for the regionals around the country. Big concentration in the South and the SEC. Got a couple on the West Coast as well. Saw an upset earlier today. Second game across the nation to get underway. Stetson, the Hatters, took down FSU in Tallahassee 8-3. That was the big news from today. How about Texas A&M demolishing UConn 17-3, 13 runs in the second inning for the Aggies. Georgia Tech taking down Texas State 2-1.
Yeah, and just recently finished up. Belmont, who was the 3 seed in their regional, took down Southeastern Louisiana, who was a 2 seed. So a couple of those 2-3 matchups have gone the other way. With that big one in Florida State being upset. Huge win for Stetson.
Back here at McCombs Field, Hannah Wells looking efficient coming out of the bullpen. Worked a 1-2-3 third inning with a couple of strikeouts and is ahead here to begin the fourth, 0-2 against Leilani Gonzalez. A different pace compared to Silali Gutierrez.
Well, it's a different pace in the way she's attacking the strike zone, but also how quickly she gets back on the mound after she's thrown a pitch.
And now 3 consecutive strikeouts for the freshman.
The freshman just comes out and goes to work quickly, but she's using this drop on the inner half. She saw that Gonzalez offered at it for strike 2, and she just stayed in that location.
Mike White loves her velocity. Said at times this year in her first season has gotten a little too excited out there in the circle, but that's somewhat to be expected for a true freshman.
Yeah, to be expected, especially early in season, getting to the Division I level and then having a little bit of nerves as you get in the circle. Especially playing for the defending national champions, feeling like there might be pressure and expectations on you.
Just absolutely blows one past Addie Day, 1-2.
Well, and right now, Hannah Wells, if it's not broke, don't fix it. She's continuing just to throw that drop ball, not trying to do too much with it. Let it run until they lay off of it.
4 consecutive strikeouts.
Well, after going inside, Hannah Wells, same pitch, just outside knee height, over the plate. Big strikeout looking there for the freshman.
Just pure heat from Wells. We'll see what Britton Buchanan does against her. There's a swing and a miss.
Oh, and that's strike number 16 in 22 pitches. So Hannah Wells has come out with the mentality of, I'm just going to attack the zone. Let my defense work, let the pitch work, not try to be too fine right now. And it is absolutely going in her favor.
Mentioned Texas still trying to see who will be that dependable second starter in the postseason. I mean, that really is their main concern at this point. Last year it was Mac Morgan for the most part. She moved on, graduated, became a part of UTSA's staff. But Hannah Wells looking good out of the pen today in the regional opener for Texas. And Wells strikes out the side.
Well, Hannah Wells comes in and absolutely changes the tempo of this game. We saw drop balls on the inner half. She was able to freeze them on the outer half, but she has been just on attack mode.
Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Regionals presented by Capital One. Texas with a 2-1 lead. We're now joined by their head coach, Mike White. Coach, kind of a crazy start to this ball game. Wagner scoring first, jumping out to the early lead. What did you make of that start? What was your message to the team after that to try and settle things down?
They get their heartbeats down a little bit. I think they're just like racing and speeding the game up. I mean, they got a boisterous crowd here, and I think they're kind of you're letting that affect them a little bit and speeding things up. So just trying to settle stuff down and trust their training.
Coach, you made the quick switch to Hannah Wells. Just talk about that move in particular.
Yeah, we got to be more aggressive. Walking batters and hitting batters just doesn't work, and so we've got Pibby on the bench who can throw. So let's get out there and attack them.
Sounds good. Thank you for joining us, Coach.
You bet. Hook them.
Caden Henry supporting her head coach. Right behind Mike White. Texas over the last 5 seasons, not a bad run for the Longhorns under Mike White. Made the Women's College World Series finals 3 of the last 4 years, winning it all last year again. Every postseason he has been a head coach. Mike White has advanced to at least a super regional. Hoping to head back to Oklahoma City this year. Hannah Wells, who just looks utterly dominant right now in the circle, leading things off at the plate here in the bottom of the 4th.
And I liked his message about Hannah Wells is we have to attack. We have to put someone in that's going to attack the zone and stay on that mission. And that changes the momentum on defense, but then you take that into offense because you get off the defensive side so quickly because Hannah's so efficient. Now you go back into the offense with some energy and some life. When you have a pitcher who works behind, throws a lot of pitches, continually has traffic on the bases, starts to put a lull in the momentum.
Wells behind 0-2. Wells smashes one to left. Just foul. A towering shot. You saw fans ducking for cover outside the stands. Wells last year set a Texas high school single season record with 31 home runs.
And she just has so much power. There was a lot of talk, especially on social media, after her home run at the SEC tournament against Georgia. She got fooled off speed. She was out in front, but she has enough power and kept her barrel in control that she was able to drive it out of the ballpark. And that just shows her true strength.
Smashes one to center, and the freshman bashes one off the scoreboard. What a day for Hannah Wells. Longhorns now, a little bit of breathing room here in the 4th inning.
Well, Hannah Wells, not a hitter's count, but this pitch left over the heart of the plate, and she takes an aggressive swing and absolutely demolishes this one off the netting that's protecting the scoreboard. And just as we talk about her strength, Hannah Wells flexes it.
And popped up by Sneed. So for Hannah Wells, 5 of her last 7 hits have been home runs. And it's just video game-like numbers.
Oh, when you see the ball well and you have power, put a good swing on a good pitch and you have potential to drive it out. And again, her and Katie Stewart both, they are just so strong that sometimes even a mishit will go out of the park off their bat. And you and I, we got to talk to the players a little bit, and I asked Katie Stewart, like, are you taking Hannah under your wing a little bit? Because obviously Reese did with her, and she said, yes, definitely trying. Feel like as soon as Reese graduates, Katie Stewart's gonna be like, come be part of this sisterhood that has so much power and is able to drive the ball out of the park.
This one poked to left field. Another base hit for the Longhorns. Nichols flying over to second. Caught the Seahawks defense napping. J.C. Nichols has reached twice. And for Mike White, this is like an assembly line. One home run hitter gets ready to graduate, in comes another. Then comes the freshman Wells. I mean, Atwood, Stewart, and Wells, they just don't miss a beat.
They don't. And he does a good job of complimenting them with athletes like J.C. Nichols. He has likened her base running to Mia Scott, taking extra bases, catching people sleeping, trying to deke a throw behind. But heads up base running there by the freshman.
Here is Ashton Maloney. And there goes Nichols over to third.
Again, J.C. Nichols paying attention. The fact that on this throwback, no one's checking her. And so they throw to Sam Lotus. She takes off on the delayed steal and gets herself 60 feet away from scoring.
You combine the speed and the power of this Texas offense, there's a reason they're top 20 in the country in runs per game.
Well, we've seen over the course of her career, Caden Henry delay steal a lot, but J.C. Nichols doing that here in a fourth inning where right now, Wagner having a hard time retiring Texas in order.
Longhorns out hitting Wagner 6-2. Remember, the Seahawks jumped out to that early lead. 1-0, had some momentum. Even through 2, they still had some momentum. Lotus was looking good in the circle. But Texas, the defending national champions, they have taken that away over the last 2. Maloney heads to first. For everything surrounding the women's softball regionals, head to ncaa.com for the latest news, analysis, and insight. Women's College World Series begins Thursday, May 28th, noon Eastern on ESPN. This is looking like the Texas team that made it to the Women's College World Series and won it last year. Runners on the corners, 1 away. Back up to the top of the order for Caden Henry. Second time through the order. Texas much more effective against Lotus. Maloney is going, that one thrown into center field, and it will bring home another. 4-1 Longhorns.
Well, now this is where Texas is going to push the envelope. With the speed they have, Ashton Maloney takes second, and unfortunately Buchanan just sails this throw. Janicki has no shot at being able to wrangle that one in, which allows J.C. Nichols to just trot home. But Texas going to continue to put the pressure on the defense of Wagner right now.
Henry over to second. As the runner Maloney advances, that has been a big difference in this ball game because Lotus has looked pretty good for large chunks of this game, but the defense has struggled at times for Wagner. Here comes Katie Stewart. Stewart to left field. An RBI single for Stewie.
First pitch, and now we see Texas being aggressive on balls in the zone, and Stewart drives this to left field, the first one she sees, able to continuing the scoring for Texas in the fourth.
Yeah, 3 runs in the fourth inning. SEC Player of the Year with a couple of hits today. Here is Vivi Martinez, 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. She sends one into the gap, and it will drop in there and roll all the way back to the wall. Stewart hustling around third, and Vivi Martinez is 3 for 3 with another RBI.
Well, this pitch over the heart of the zone, supposed to be on the inside corner, and Vivi Martinez hits it where it's pitched, drives it to left center. Rocky a little bit of a bad angle, which allows that ball to ricochet and Stewart to score from first.
We'll see if Wagner makes a pitching change. As Texas scoring 4 times in the 4th inning off the freshman Sam Lotus, who's battling out there today. I mean, in the 1st inning, she looked extremely strong. 2nd inning, didn't allow a run or a hit. Registered a strikeout to leave her out here to continue in the 4th.
Well, coming in, Texas looked a little bit off their game, letting some strikes go by, chasing things out of the zone. You can see a much more disciplined approach, ready to swing first pitch if it's over the plate, as well as working the count if she's expanding.
Here comes a pinch hitter for Texas, Vic Hunter. 10 home runs in her career, 270 hitter. Vic Hunter launches one off the top of the wall. Hunter heading to second, and it's a pinch hit, run scoring double for Vic Hunter.
Well, this is 3 consecutive first pitch hits for Texas. Katie Stewart, Vivi Martinez, and now Vic Hunter sees a pitch up in the zone, drives that off the wall. Pinch hit double for the junior.
Let's see what Reese Atwood does. She's 0 for 2 with a couple of line outs, 2 hard hit outs.
And talking to Texas, we talk about the seniors so much. Vic Hunter, looking at the end of her softball career too, has gotten into the Masters of Finance program here at Texas. So getting a huge opportunity here in what could be her last postseason run as well.
Atwood pops it up. And the inning comes to an end, but Texas breaks this one wide open. 5 runs in the 4th. Hannah Wells with the big blast. The home run for the freshman. Texas right now well on their way to setting up a matchup in the winner's bracket tomorrow against Wisconsin, who took down Baylor in the first game of the Austin Regional in extra innings. Texas holds on to the lead here. They will face the Badgers in game number 1 tomorrow. Baylor would face Wagner in the first elimination game. And the third and final game on Saturday will be another elimination contest. Hannah Wells back out in the circle for the Longhorns. All she has done is struck out 5 in a row. Relieved Citlali Gutierrez, who started the game. Through 2 innings, was inconsistent through 49 pitchers. And Wells has come out of the bullpen blazing.
Well, in the 4th inning, when Wells struck out the side, that's just the first time in her career in a Texas uniform that she has struck out the side.
And this stretch is unbelievable. 6 consecutive strikeouts.
And it's another drop ball, but this time on the outer half, and that ball just sinking enough. Wagner swinging over the top of everything. Bat plane has to change if they're going to crack against Hannah Wells.
Here's Janice Morales. The first 2 innings felt like a different ball game. We were tied at 1 after 2. The Texas pitching was inconsistent. Since then, the offense has exploded, and Wells has been dominant in the circle. Full Morales there.
Well, a lot of times you talk about the game speeding up, and I think the way Hannah Wells has approached going in the circle since the 3rd inning actually sped up Wagner. So they got off the offensive side rather quickly after they were having some success.
Fired over to first by Nichols at third. That does end the stretch of 6 consecutive strikeouts, but still an out, 2 away.
Yeah, still out, and she's still in control, but because they got sped up on the offensive side, I think they took that to the defensive side too, and then Texas was able to capitalize, putting a lot of pressure on Wagner and Sam Lotus.
Wells has faced 8 batters coming out of the bullpen and been perfect. Blew one past Elena Giampolo there, the sophomore out of New Jersey. Strike 2.
I just love the fact that her and Patty Rhodes Taylor, who's calling pitches, they're continuing to stay with the same pitch because it's working. They're not mixing just for the sake of mixing.
Strikeout number 7 for Hannah Wells.
Well, the freshman just continues to cook. She's using the 68-mile-an-hour drop ball to just keep Wagner at bay.
nothing like the Women's College World Series.
It is more wide open than ever. The Women's College World Series begins May 28th. Who will make it there? Who will end up the last team standing? Will it be Texas again? They're showing flashes of their old selves today, putting up 5 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Let's see what they do here in the bottom of the 5th. Hannah Wells leading off for the 2nd straight inning, sends one to center and deposits one for her 2nd hit of the contest.
Oh, another first pitch swing by Texas results in a base hit.
They will pinch run for Wells. Adea Wallace taking over the junior. What a day for Hannah Wells at the plate and in the circle. So Wallace at first, Alyssa Sneed coming up to bat.
Is this a safe space to say that I'm like jealous that she can hit home runs and
I'm sure if you wanted
contribute to the offense?
you could do that. No, you never had the urge to get in there and
Sometimes, but I was not. I didn't work at hitting like the way I worked at pitching, so.
they could have used you. First pitch in there to Sneed. This is Sneed looking to join the hit parade for the Longhorns. 10 hits, 7 runs. Texas a couple of runs away from putting this one in the books. Sneed ropes one to left field. 11th hit of the contest for Texas, and the Longhorns with 2 in scoring position. Just top to bottom in the lineup, everybody contributing.
Well, an off-speed pitch down in the zone, but Sneed on time for this, stays down through it, able to pull it and keep it inside the foul line there in left field. And despite the fact that Rachel cut that off, Adea Wallace, seeing she had plenty of time with how deep it was, advances all the way to 3rd.
The winning run is at 2nd. And there's J.C. Nichols at the plate, doubled in the 4th, reached on an error in the 2nd. Lotus misses.
Well, J.C. Nichols has gotten a lot of headlines lately because of her defensive play, was able to be an offensive threat at the SEC tournament. And Mike White pointing out, using her slapping game really has opened things up for her. She was swinging away early in season with not much success.
Nichols to center field, 1 run comes in, it's bobbled in center, and Texas will walk it off in 5. The Longhorns winning their first game of the Austin Regional 9-1 over Wagner and moving on to the winner's bracket.
Well, swinging away this pitch over the middle, and J.C. Nichols able to get the hopper that gets through, and Coach Mike White originally holding up Sneed, not sure, but with the bobble, she's able to score easily and end this ball game.
Texas 9 runs off 12 hits, no miscues in the field as the Longhorns make it 11 consecutive regional wins under Mike White. Time now to take a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance, and it goes to the freshman Hannah Wells. What a job she did in the circle. 7 strikeouts coming out of the bullpen, and at the plate 2 hits, including a solo home run to help propel Texas to the 9-1 win.
Hannah Wells absolutely changed the tempo of this game for Texas, and that's a big reason why they were able to walk off with the run roll.
So the Longhorns fell behind in the opening moments of this game to Wagner, who made their first appearance in NCAA postseason history, but after that it was all Texas. They are now set for a matchup tomorrow. First game of the day, first of 3 at 1 Eastern, 12 Central against Wisconsin, who took down Baylor in extras. And after that, our first elimination game will take place between Baylor and Wagner. And the nightcap will feature one last elimination contest here from Austin. Wagner scores their first run in the NCAA postseason in program history, but after that, it's all Texas. For Kat Osterman, I'm Alex Slope. We thank you so much for watching. We will see you on Saturday.